So what's required of sprinkler testing? I won't cover all of these, but every sprinkler is required to be tested at predetermined intervals. So 5-year, we would test high temp solder link sprinklers. 10 years, we would test dry sprinklers. That's currently California and Washington requirements. Oregon has adopted the newer standard, which requires a 15-year test on those dry sprinkler heads, and so on. So based on the type of sprinkler head, it determines when they'll be sample tested. So many of you ask about how we sample test these heads. We don't actually sample test the head on site. What we'll do is we will spec those sprinkler heads and replace them with a like in kind and pull your sprinkler heads for sample testing. We sample test a minimum of 4 heads per type, and then we test based on percentage. So if there's more than 400 heads, we would test at 1%, whichever is greater. So here's how these heads are sample tested. They're sent out to a lab. There's a couple labs that do this. UL does it. Dine Industries is another lab that does it. And we have a short video here from Dine that shows how these are tested. I don't know if everybody could hear the audio from that, but the sprinklers are put into an oven with very, very precise temperatures, and they have to meet the response times and temperature activation times that they were originally designed with. And that's how those sprinkler heads are tested. So other common components and systems, fire sprinkler systems are all required to have indicating type valves installed for any of their control valves. We've got pictured here some of our indicating type valves. Any of these valves can be quickly identified as to position with a quick glance. So you see here on the left, we have a butterfly valve. That little indicator pointing the same direction as the pipe shows that that valve's open. Also have a post indicator valve. These are typically used for underground valves or to operate a valve from inside the building. They may protrude from the wall of a building. Post indicator valve has a sign in that little window there you see. This one happens to be failed, that sign has dropped away or is no longer legible, but it will say open or closed. OS&Y valves, pictured here in the third, indicate they're open by this stem protruding from the valve. So at a quick glance, you can tell that valve is open because the stem sticks out the top of the hand wheel. If that valve were closed, that stem would be receded almost to where that hand wheel is. And then butterfly valves or slow closed ball valves, kind of the same thing. They'll have an indicator. If it's pointing the direction in the pipe or parallel with that pipe, that indicates at a quick glance that that valve is open.